keep going.
Okay, coach's thoughts, and then opened up for questions.
Well, not your typical Friday ball game. Two really good pitchers starting, and Isaiah will probably tell you he didn't have his best stuff, and left a lot of balls in the middle. Kentucky did a really nice job of shooting the ball the other way, and jumping some pitches and laying off some borderline pitches. And I think that at the beginning of the game, it seemed like the zone was smaller. It kind of moved around a little bit. Both pitchers were struggling, but we fell behind on a crazy play that I got a big base hit with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and left fielder drops the ball out of his glove. Guys are advancing, he makes a throw. No, 3-run score, and it doesn't look good for us. I think they get a base hit after that, and all of a sudden, bang, we're down pretty good, and we climbed right back into it. And then kind of the same thing happened again. They scored 3. They got their guy kind of rolling again. They got a full bullpen, bunch of guys that can bring it a little bit, as you saw. And we just kept swinging. We just kept playing, and just proud of the guys for hanging in there and going up there and putting together some quality at bats and getting some pitch counts up, and got a big 3-run homer and a couple of clutch hits and held on. But it was a good win for us, obviously.
Nesbitt's had RBIs all year, but
Yep.
6 tonight is pretty incredible.
Yeah, he came up clutch. He obviously got the sac fly, and he had the 3-run homer, the big double down the line, drove in 2 more, and obviously again we wouldn't be sitting here talking about a win if he didn't have the big night, and that's what it takes. Somebody picking you up, somebody having a big night, and Tennessee, they came out and swung the bats, and it ended up turning into kind of a slugfest, and I don't think either coach probably saw that coming. I know I didn't.
What did you think of the way Kostychak and then Cronin were able to slam the door there?
Well, Kosty had a really good 8th. When he came in the 7th, he gave up a couple of hits and a run, and then had to get out of that jam. I mean, they're 1 hit away from tying it up, so that was nice that he got I think he struck out the pinch hitter. But the 8th was great. He got a couple of strikeouts, threw nothing but strikes, and then, their 3-all hitter, Lipkis, I don't know if I pronounced it right, but he was on him all night, and he hit a breaking ball hard right at Martin. Martin fielded it, made a nice play, and it's kind of a sigh of relief because we knew that we were going to get to the 9th and have a chance to have Cronin close it out. Obviously, I wish we would have scored a run in the bottom of the 8th. We got picked off second with 1 out and a full count, which they just ran a really good play, but it was a little disappointing. Cronin did a great job getting the first hitter, and just a super play by Christian Franklin to catch that ball in the alley. I think most everybody probably thought that was going to be a double when it left the bat, and that's one reason he's out there. He's such a good outfielder.
The strikeout Kosty got in the 8th, is that his best breaker?
Yeah, I mean, he probably should have been throwing a few more breakers. Looking back on what happened to us, they got us with an 0-2 single on a fastball that was supposed to be expanded. It didn't. It stayed over the plate. But yeah, I mean, that's one of his. He's got a good breaking ball. He's developed a good changeup now, and doesn't use that against right-handers a whole lot. But the fastball was good, and then obviously Cronin coming in, and that's he had a little. He had some adrenaline tonight, and he knew. There was a big-time save situation, a big game, and one that we had battled all the way back, and he took control of that 9th inning.
Is a good hard shoulder okay?
Yeah, he just kind of strained it. I'm not going to say it popped out, but he hurt a little bit, and first he was in a lot of pain, then it kind of went away, and doctors came and saw him up in the locker room, moved him around, said he was fine, and said everything was tight. He'd probably be sore tomorrow, but he felt like he could swing. He went upstairs and swung up in the locker room and showed our trainer he could do it, and when he swung, I think he hit a line drive down the left field line. He said he had no pain whatsoever. So, it was a little scary.
Dave, considering Tennessee's ERA and Isaiah, this is about the wildest
Yeah.
outcome you might have expected. Huh?
Yeah, I think just before you came in, that's kind of what I said. I mean, it was. I don't think either coach saw that coming, and you know, their ERA is incredible for this time of year, and you know, you kind of see why. They've got some big time arms, and you know, Isaiah had been, you know, pretty consistent all year, and tonight wasn't his night. But also you got to give, you know, Tennessee hitters credit. They did a really nice job against him. But Isaiah just didn't have, you know, the secondary pitches going like normal, and probably would tell you that he didn't spot his fastball as good as normal. You know, I mentioned that it just seemed like the zone was pretty tight there early, both ways, and you know, I think it was hard on the starters.
I don't know if the radar gun's right with that. I don't remember seeing that many red numbers.
Yeah, anything from 95 up on that. I mean, we check in the TrackMan. You know, there was even some pitches that were by Costi that were 93, and we saw them. We went up and looked, and I didn't. They came down and said they were 95. But then there was some that, you know, sometimes it reads low, sometimes it reads a little bit high. You know, their right-hander, I know he's hit 99 this year. But you know, it just makes it, you know, it's just interesting. You know, velocity's awesome. But, you know, we caught up to a couple of them, and got a couple of big swings on them. And, you know, the left-hander, I mean, he's got an electric arm now. He's got an arm that I know a lot of major league teams are going to want here in a couple of years, and I'm sure they want him now. But, you know, that's why they made this game a little bit more special for us to come back and win that game when, you know, they had a 3-run lead on us with those arms available.
That ground ball to third base that Nesbitt fielded, it went between the guy's legs.
Yeah, that's what I was told. Yeah, it's
Have
crazy.
you ever seen a play?
No.
If his glove hits the runner in the course of the play, is that
Could have been interference. I don't really know. I don't know how the rule would read if was he on the base. That's the question. If he's on the base, yeah, he can just stand there. It was just such a strange play, and Nesbitt said that he felt like he had tagged him. Well, you know, somebody saw the replay and said that he actually fielded the ball between his legs, and he felt like he tagged him when he fielded it, but I guess he didn't.
If it hits him, if the ball hits him, he's out.
If he's in fair territory, and obviously they called it fair, so yeah. The umpire told me that he wasn't sure if it hit him or not. That's why we were going to kind of look at that as well. But you know, at least I'm just glad he told me what he saw. You know, he didn't make anything up. He just said, "I'm not sure if the ball hit him or not." And I said, "Well, I guess we need to look at it." And I said, "But I think he tagged him." And then I asked Nesbitt, "Did you tag him?" He goes, "I think so." You know, what else was he going to tell me? But obviously, they didn't feel like that he did.
How'd you think Heston played out in right field?
I thought he played good. You know, I mean, for the most part, a couple of balls hit pretty good out in the gap that sliced back to him, and another one he could have caught that Fletcher called him off and ran it down. And I mean, Fletcher made an incredible catch, and then, you know, we lose that ball. That's how strange that game was. I mean, you lose it, it's a high sky, and it wasn't out to the east or really to the south. It was dark, but back here to the west, it was still some light bluish, and he just lost it. I knew right because when he threw his hand down, I knew he was in trouble, and he never found it again. And, you know, we just gave him 2 runs right back, and it's just kind of the way the game works. But we didn't panic, and then they got another hit, and then we're down 3. So we really, when you think about it, they hit the ball hard, but we threw a couple of them in there for them, and then that dropped in there, and we just kept fighting back. It was crazy. That was a crazy game.
Can you comment about Opitz throwing Charleston out in that
Yeah.
situation, and also the slide by Goodhart?
Yeah, Charleston, I mean, he's a great base stealer. Opitz came firing out of there. I'm thinking that they thought that we weren't going to throw, that we were just going to arm fake, and they wanted to go ahead and get the runner to second, kind of get rid of the double play, because they went on the first pitch, so they felt something. And but we had throw through on right there, and he made a great throw, and that changed that whole inning. The game was tied at the time, I think, and instead of runners at first and third, or maybe second and third with 1 out, you know, now we just need to get 1 out, which we got. And then the slide, you know, he got a late break at second. Yeah, I mean, there's 2 outs. Took him a little bit too long to get going. You got to give credit to the left fielder. Solari made a really nice throw. You know, they let it go and it just rolled right into the catcher. But you know, what I was told, again, I haven't seen the replay, is that he slid and almost kind of lifted his arm and he swiped and missed. And is that what you guys saw? So, I mean, hey, great job by Goodhart, because not only did that give us a 2-run lead, it allowed our next hitter to get a base hit, and all of a sudden we had a 4-run lead.
He actually reached back and got the base.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big-time slide.
After that game the other night, you said Cronin's velocity was down a little bit. If you believe the gun,
Yeah.
it looked like it was really.
No, it was up tonight. I don't know what the gun. We'll look at ours.
6.
Yeah, I mean, he was bringing it a little bit, and the other night not so much. So tonight I just feel like that he had a lot of adrenaline going. I think he was frustrated the way it went the other night as well. He has something to prove, and you know, tonight he was back to his old self as far as velocity. He threw a lot of strikes as well.
You mentioned Franklin making a good catch in the ninth. He had the double error earlier in the game. Is that just kind of a freshman growing pains?
Well, you know, I mean, the ball in left field that he fielded, I mean, he just came up and the ball got away from him, went to the ground, that allowed the runner to make advance another base, and then he picked it up and he just threw the ball to, I guess he thought, to third base. Well, the third baseman was in the cutoff spot where he's supposed to be, and the shortstop went for the ball on the ground, and there was nobody at third base. And obviously the ball rolled in. So, yeah, I would call that a little bit of a freshman mistake, and but he also got a big hit for us and made the great play there. That's the thing about the game. That's what I told him. I said, you know, things didn't go our way, or we messed up, but you guys just kept fighting. And, you know, you created some innings, you got a couple big hits, and we won the ball game. It was a good comeback.
Anybody else?